early on, apparently, you just started reaching out to people in the Valley saying, spend an hour with me, trying to find mentors and get advice. And you would write to big name people that you didn't know, and you were just some young kid with a company nobody had heard of, right?
Well, I mean, there's no risk in somebody not responding to your email. The cool thing about Silicon Valley, and this is something that is just remarkable about, I think, this ecosystem, is the mentorship network, the sort of appreciation that I think everybody has for the for the fight and the struggle of building companies. I benefited, greatly from people who had built enterprise software companies or just big companies in general, and they were very helpful in the kind of things that we should watch out for, the kind of things we should optimize for, and how to build an organization that can sort of last as long as possible.
Your CFO, your VP of technology, Jeff is your VP of tech operations, and your head of PR. You were all friends in high school together?
We all went to high school, yeah. The interesting thing is like with Jeff, for instance, we've been working on companies and technology for 16 years. So, it's hard to have spent more time with an individual on a technology than that. One of our initial fears was that we didn't want to become sort of your sort of prototypical, what you'd think of as a slow-moving, kind of boring enterprise software company where the sales guy has a briefcase, and in the briefcase is another briefcase, and is like 3 gold rings, and pulls up in a Ferrari, and hits people. What we've tried to do is we generally are the most sort of consumer-oriented company that any enterprise person has worked at, and the most enterprise-oriented company that any consumer person has worked at. And so we're sort of in this Venn diagram in the center where we try and take the things that are not compromising of either side, but the things that are sort of shared. We've been able to sort of infuse 2 different organizational cultures into one system that I think has netted a very interesting kind of dynamic, and it's one that I think a lot of next generation enterprise software companies are starting to build up. We look at Facebook from an engineering culture standpoint, or Google from an engineering culture standpoint. So we have hackathons where everybody stays up for 36 hours and goes and tests and builds new kinds of software that we can go release to customers. We'll learn from VMware for things. We'll learn from Salesforce from things. We'll learn what not to do from Microsoft. There's just a lot of different kind of cultures we've tried to take and put into one organization.